only is Evelyn still the best fire DPS in the game, her signature is also such an incredibly good stat stick that it often becomes the second best choice on any attack agent in the game. But her full potential is also locked behind one of the highest skill ceilings, and playing her correctly is absolutely key to a good deadly assault score. Which also means you came just to the right place. So today, let's talk about her kit and how she plays, her best weapons, disk drives and disk drive sets, her best resource build-up and stun window combos, her main and substats, her teams and Mindscapes, and lastly, let's also talk about her pros and cons. Welcome! I'm Rivenous, and this is your complete, updated, XXL in-depth guide to Evelyn Chevalier. Evelyn is a crit-based fire-type attack agent who excels at the art of shibari and, more importantly, very potent repeated chain attacks. In fact, about 60% of her total damage comes from said chain attacks alone, and you will need to manage her resources, yes, plural, correctly to make use of them. Speaking of resources, polychromes are also some kind of resource, and with that, let me introduce you to today's sponsor, LDShop. LDShop is a safe and reliable top-up site for your favorite games, such as Zenless Zone Zero, Honkai Star Rail, Withering Waves, or Genshin Impact. Created by LD Player, LDShop offers you affordable prices, even up to 30% off, through official ways and does not require any account credentials. Your server and UID are enough. Spend over $80 and you get to claim an Internet membership for free every month. LDShop is trustworthy, provides a fast delivery within minutes, and as you can see by the huge amount of positive reviews, it is also safe and reliable. With Seed and Trigger still being here and, more importantly, Orphe coming right up, go directly to ldshop.gg using my link in the description or pinned comment and save money today. Using my link, you will receive a 15% off and a 5% off coupon. Thank you LDShop for sponsoring this video, and with that, let's have a look at her kit. Thank you Muzzy for providing your account to me so I can actually record footage, cause well, I am 6th MI Evelyn. Check out his channel in the description. He features a 5-part basic attack, and not only will we use them frequently, but we require them to generate her resources. So let's talk about them. Evelyn has 2 resources unique to her. Burning Embers, which are represented as this red bar right here, and Burning Tether Points, which are these 3 points right next to the embers. For simplicity's sake, I will refer to them as Burning Energy and Tether Points respectively. Burning energy is generated at various effectiveness when dealing damage, and as we can see, some abilities are more efficient at generating burning energy than others. Evelyn then also features 2 enhanced basic attacks, which we can cast by holding her basic attack button pressed, and each one requires and consumes 50% of her maximum burning energy, so it requires half her bar. The second enhanced basic attack can only be cast as a follow-up to the first one, and using any of the 2 enhanced basic attacks will then generate 1 tether point. As an important side note, the tether point is generated the moment the attack is cast, which also means we can animation cancel it using her ultimate or dash attack, and we want to do so as the damage is negligible compared to her chain attacks and ultimate. Great, but what do we now actually need her tether points for? Fantastic question. At 3 burning tether points, the next use of her enhanced basic attack will be converted into a chain attack instead, and doing so consumes all 3 burning tether points. That also means 3 tether points will allow us to access our chain attack even without any chain attack prompts. Let's summarize what we have so far. We use her basic attacks and her other skills to generate burning energy, and if we have 50% or more, we then hold her basic attack button pressed to cast her enhanced basic attack, which will convert 50% of her burning energy into 1 tether point. We do this up to 3 times, and when we have 3 tether points, we hold down her basic attack button again to cast her chain attack instead. So let's talk about her chain attack. It is, well, a chain attack, but if it is used using her tether points, we can actually swap cancel it. And you can be sure we do want to do that. While we want to focus on using her chain attacks mainly during the enemy stun window, her chains also generate 169 decibels each. Because we are very reliant on her ultimate and want to make sure we have it available for every stun window, I would recommend using at least one chain right after the stun window however, but more on that during the combo section. Speaking of her ultimate already, she has in fact 2 of them, and not all heroes wear capes. Quite literally because she will remove her cape for the rest of the fight the first time you use her ultimate, and without her cape, she will always retain at least 1 burning tether point. Her second ultimate exposes her armpits for the degenerates under us and that's it. It is basically the same ultimate in terms of damage and functionality, as both will grant her 1 tether point when cast, and except that the first ultimate puts her in the capeless state, which has her retain said 1 tether point for the rest of combat. Let's talk about her special and EX special, and surprisingly, we will want to use both of them. Her special has 2 forms. The first form can only be used if Evelyn is not currently within her BDS binding sealed state. This binding sealed state is active whenever one enemy is bound to her by her rope, and she can enter the state using either her first form special attack, basic 5 dodge counter quick assist follow-up chain attack, or also her ultimate. Her second form special attack, as well as her EX special, can only be used while she is in the binding sealed state, and both of these consist of 2 parts. Because her first form special is primarily used to skip her basic 1 and 2, as well as entering said binding sealed state, let's instead talk more about her second form special. Her second form special is actually called first form and, as already mentioned, consists of 2 parts. The first hit will deal damage and generate burning energy, then she follows up with a detonation, which deals a bit of damage, does not generate burning energy, and more importantly ends her binding seal state. This is bad. In fact, it is so bad that we will never ever want to trigger a detonation, because if we do so, we will leave the binding seal state, and if we do that, we are not able to use her EX special anymore, or her first form special. Lastly, if timed right, her second form special can also be used to dodge enemy attacks, and if done so, we gain an additional 25% burning energy. Fortunately, we can cancel the detonation and instead follow up with her basic 3. This detonation mechanic also exists on her EX special, and generally her EX special behaves kind of the same as her second form special, but it deals significantly more damage, and looking back at our table from before, it will also generate a massive 50 burning energy. Which means we want to use her EX special. A lot. Lastly, her EX can be used to dodge enemy attacks as well, and if done so, we gain, just as before, an additional 25% burning energy. So let's quickly talk a little bit more about her detonations. First off, the multiplayers of them are pretty shit, so yet another reason to skip it. Secondly, not only does the basic 3 deal more damage than the detonation, it also generates additional burning energy, which we would not get if we let her use her detonation. Third, the detonation can also only be followed up with her basic 1, which is yet another reason to, well, not do that. And lastly, the first parts of her special and EX special do not trigger a heavy hit, and in fact only the detonation does. This can be of advantage when not playing with manual chain, but it also means that if you intend on playing Evelyn with, for example, Pulchrer, who requires heavy hits, you are unable to trigger her aftershocks, well, because they do require said heavy hit. Or if you do need to do that, you need to trigger the detonations, but it honestly makes playing Evelyn pretty awkward. That said, this all sounds very complicated, and admittedly it somewhat is when looking at only the text, but it really boils down to a simple gameplay. Press her special or EX special, and then spam your basic attack button. This will result in you skipping her detonation and will look like what you see on screen right now. With that, let's finish up her kit. While in the binding sealed state, her core passive grants her the already aforementioned 25% crit rate, and she will also retain said buff for 10 seconds after switching out. Furthermore, when switching out, she will automatically cast her special attack, which also means if you switch her out, she will, well, automatically cast the detonation and leave the binding sealed state. This is important because that means to avoid having to use her regular special to get back into the state, we are looking primarily at using her chain attack, quick assist or assist follow-up to do so, and that effectively means she really wants Astra. For more reasons than just that, but this is just yet another one. Her additional core requires either a stun or support, and that is fortunately a pretty easy condition to meet. It then grants a 30% damage bonus to her chain attacks and ultimate, as well as increasing the multipliers of those by 25% if her crit rate is at 80% or higher. Given skill level 12, that leaves her chain with a total MB of 2073% and her ultimate at 4972. Lastly, her talents give her an additional 14.4% crit rate, and that means she already has 44.4% crit rate by default inherently in her kit, which is great because we want to hit set 80% in combat crit rate. TLDR being her chain and ultimate deal a lot of damage, and to make sure we know how to get there, let's summarize how we play her. We utilize her special assist follow-up, quick assist or chain attack to enter the binding seal state. During said state, we utilize a combo of special into basic 3, 4 and 5, as well as her EX special to generate burning embers. Optimally, we also use her special and EX special to dodge enemy attacks for an additional 25% burning embers. And lastly, we then use her health basic attack to convert 50% of the burning embers into 1 tether point, and at 3 tether points we can then use her chain attack. This is obviously very simplified, and we will touch upon this much more right after this in the combo section, but let's finish this with her skill priority first. Focus on her core and chain first and foremost, then her EX special and basics, and lastly dodge into assist. Before we talk about her combos, I have to admit to you, I lied. Her burning energy is not actually a real percentage, or it goes even from 1 to 100. In fact, given I counted my pixels correctly, Evelyn's burning ember scale consists of up to 16 points, which means each point equals 6.25% of her maximum burning energy. That also means her enhanced basic attack requires 8 burning embers. This is much better to talk about, and knowing that, we can now talk about her combos. Starting off combat, if you do not have any quick assists available, her basic combo will be special into special first form, and we want to make sure to cancel the detonation, so we follow up directly with her basic 3, 4 and 5. This will grant us 8 burning embers in total, and is exactly enough for 1 enhanced basic attack. Her basic 5 animation is also relatively long, and if applicable, I recommend swap cancelling it. With access to either a quick assist or assist follow-up, however, we can slightly modify this combo. Quick assist or assist follow-up into special first form, into detonation cancel, into basic 3, 4 and 5, and that will grant us 9 burning embers in total. Combining this, we can now go for a full quick assist or assist follow-up into special first form, into detonation cancel, into basic 3, 4 and 5, and again into special first form, into detonation cancel, into basic 3, 4 and 5. This is exactly a full 16 burning embers and allows for 2 enhanced basics and hence tether points. An alternative and honestly also more applicative version of this would be quick assist or assist follow-up into special first form, into detonation cancel, into basic 3, 4 and 5, into EX special. This will grant us 17 burning embers in total, and hence we would waste 1 point, but given how quick this combo is, that is honestly okay. At this point, it should also be noted that triggering a dodge with her special or EX special will grant an additional 2 burning embers, and that effectively means we can now just simply skip her basic 5, as we now have 1 burning embers of overflow, leaving us with this just slightly shortened combo. Knowing our builder combos, let's now talk about 2 possible stun combos. The first one will be slightly more casual and less optimized, but it is still Evelyn, with the second one being an optimized stun rotation requiring Astra as well as Lighter. Regardless of which stun rotation we choose, however, we are looking at a requirement of manual chain, 16 burning embers, so a full bar, as well as 3 tether points and her ultimate heading already into the stun window. This is essentially a basic requirement for any stun rotation for Evelyn, and you should always make sure to have this readily available. We begin the stun window by holding down her basic attack button to consume 3 tether points and cast her chain attack, which we then swap cancel and trigger the stun using another character. Let's use Nicole as a free-to-play option as an example here, as her EX special will just work very well. We now proceed with Evelyn's chain attack, then cancel the chain and re-trigger it using another character. We now cast her enhanced basic attack twice into her ultimate and then follow up with a fourth chain attack. We optimally also want to swap cancel this one as well, and we can use this time to reapply, for example, Nicole's Death Shred. This is a basic 4-chain stun combo, and because all of her damage comes from her chains and ultimate, making sure to get at least 4 chains and 1 ultimate in during each stun window is absolutely key on scoring well with Evelyn. However, if you have both Lighter and Astra, we can now go for an advanced combo. Since I don't have Lighter, special thanks and shoutout to J-Stern for providing the footage for this combo. A link to his channel is in the description. This combo is much more optimized and hence also results in a total of 6 chain attacks. We begin yet again with her chain attack, swap cancel her chain and trigger the chain prompt with Lighter. Then we proceed with Evelyn's chain attack, cancel the chain and weave in 1 special of hers. We swap cancel the special, re-trigger the chain and select Evelyn again. Hold down her basic attack to cast her enhanced basic attack 1 and 2, and we cancel the animation of the second enhanced basic attack with her ultimate. We now cast her chain attack and swap cancel to Lighter using his quick assist just to refresh Astral Voice. Switch to Astra and use her ultimate, then hold her basic to force exit her cadenza state. Use the quick assist for a 5th chain attack on Evelyn, provided by Astra's ultimate, then we use her special again and swap cancel it back to Astra. Now we use Astra's EX special to re-enter the cadenza state and use the provided quick assist to trigger the 6th and last chain on Eve. And that covers her combos. Next up are her weapons. Well, a Heartstring Nocturne is just that good. Her next best weapon is Severed Innocence, simply due to being a very good stat stack. Honestly, even 2 stacks on Brimstone are generous, and I would not recommend that weapon for Evelyn. Her best free-to-play option is probably Marcato Desire, and Starlight Engine can be fine as well, but it does require you to track and maintain its uptime nicely during the stun window, which honestly kinda just requires Astra again. I don't have much more to say, get her signature. If not for her, it is also fantastic on basically every other attacker. Unfortunately, Evelyn still does not have a good 4-piece set. Either 4-piece Hormone or Puffer Electro are arguably her best 4-piece choices, but a 4-piece Woodpecker is an option as well. Albeit, you can be happy if you have literally any stacks on it during stun. As for the 2-piece, Puffer Electro is her best choice, but either Off-Branch and Blade or Astral Voice will work as well. Choose whatever has the better substats. A 4-piece Inferno Metal has in theory the highest damage potential, but A, it makes Evelyn nearly impossible to build, and B, is it highly unlikely you can actually achieve a good 100% uptime on it to actually reach its potential. September 4th, 2025. Welcome to Riv News. A newly uncovered disk drive set, Moonlight Lullaby, is already making waves in the competitive meta. Early reports suggest that this discovery might actually enable Evelyn to utilize a 4-piece Astral Voice. For more on this development, we now turn to our correspondent Astra Yao. Ms. Yao, what's the situation on the ground?
The atmosphere here is intense. Numerous theory crafters and players are reporting that Evelyn, equipped with a 4-piece Astral Voice, has the potential to perform on par with, or, in some cases, even surpass a 4-piece Hormone Punk set. While the long-term impact remains uncertain, the emergence of the Moonlight Lullaby appears to be reshaping expectations in unexpected ways.
Thank you, Ms. Yao. We'll continue to monitor this developing story as the community evaluates Moonlight Lullaby's true potential. And with that, back to iamrivenous. Either crit damage or attack percent in slot 4, pain ratio in slot 5 and attack percent in slot 6 are her best choices. If you play without Lighter, fire damage can be a valid choice in slot 5 as well, and if played with Jufufu, you are looking at attack percent over crit damage in slot 4. For her substats, focus on crit values until a maximum of 75% in the stat screen, then crit damage and attack percent, and lastly flat pen and flat attack. Compared to some other games, attack percent is actually insanely valuable in Zenless, and on some characters, such as Evelyn or even Miyabi, it can be of even value with crit damage or potentially even beat it out. Evelyn's Mindscapes are somewhat just okay. Her M1 provides her with a 12% death threat as well as allowing for a much earlier ultimate, which allows also for an easier management with her tether points and hence possibly also more chain attacks. Her Mindscape 2 provides 15% combat attack and also refunds some burning embers, which allows for an additional chain attack. As per usual, her M3 and M5 exist and her M4 give her 40% crit damage, which honestly is surprisingly good. Her M6 has her shoot more lasers for some additional, albeit mostly out of stun damage. If you like Evelyn, go and get some Mindscapes using today's sponsor Oh wait, no, we did that one already. Anyway, her M1 and M2 are fine, but I would always recommend her signature over any of her Mindscapes. If you want to gain the maximum potential out of your Evelyn, both Lighter and Astra are her best team partners, and that by a pretty long shot actually. Lighter does not only provide insane buffs to her, he also is a faster stunner and provides a stun extension, which can massively rise Evelyn's damage output by allowing for 6 chain attacks instead of 4. Astra provides additional chain attacks, strong buffs and quick assists, which makes playing Evelyn just very smooth. If you don't have Lighter, Jufufu can work as well in Lighter spot, even if not to the same effectiveness. Other alternatives include Trigger, Colada, Caesar or even Pulchra, albeit Pulchra does have the aforementioned aftershock trigger problem with her detonations, where you actually need to trigger said detonations, which honestly can be a pain in the ass, and I personally fucking hate it, but I did want to mention her at least. Nicole or Lucy can take the spot of Astra, and as per usual, a wheelchair team of Nicole, Astra or Yuzua Astra can work as well. And with that, let's finish the video with her pros and cons. Evelyn has one of the highest damage potentials in the game, and when played correctly can come pretty close to Miyabi. However, both her skill floor and skill ceiling are relatively high, if not to say one of the highest in the game. Her weapon is very good, not only for herself but for basically any attack agent in the game, which can make it a really good investment for your overall account. However, because she deals like 85% of the total team damage, a damage difference of nearly 30% compared to her next best free-to-play option makes it also somewhat required for her if your intention is on scoring well with her. Mind you, scoring well does not mean clearing. Her Mindscapes are somewhat mid at best, and while her damage potential is fantastic, there is a very clear difference between having Lighter and Astra and, well, not having them. Lastly, she is pretty fucking hot. And with these bell words, we are at the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't yet, join the Discord, and I appreciate all of you. A special shout out to my Patreon members who make this kind of content possible. I wish you a great day, peace!